But we got more matches in the Euros we need to talk about.
We did.
I wanted to go with the England-Scotland match because I feel like it's appropriate. And I wanted to mention something that the best midfielder in that game, in the England-Scotland match, was Billy Gilmore.
Of course.
Okay, he was the best midfielder next to teammate Mason Mount.
Yeah.
It was Billy Gilmore. I loved it. I was so surprised with how good he was.
So
Like
composed. Yeah.
pressure. You saw the pressure he was doing to Mount. Mount was hating him.
Yeah.
Fantastic performance. Billy Gilmore, I think he's like the MVP in every first match he does. So it's appropriate for him to be the MVP of this match.
And we'll see if he keeps his spot, but that was that was beyond his years, and certainly it's something we've all come to expect, I guess. But he needs consistency when it comes down to it, and obviously when it comes to international play, you don't just get consistency because you're one of the best on the team. You get consistency because you got to earn it. But I believe that was just his third cap, right?
Yep.
I mean, he's not really young anymore. He looks like he's 14. But the way he took on that pressure, and obviously there was a degree, or this player, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, and you know how to play against him. You've done it in training.
Yeah.
Let us see it, and we're going to unleash you on him, and he was able to neutralize it. But that's the type of that's what you want. And could you imagine if if they actually had the quality maybe in center of defense, if a McTominay could be in the midfield there with them instead of, I believe he was at center back, right?
Yeah, but I was surprised too that Harry Kane didn't show up, and it's two matches. Harry Kane, I don't know what's happening, but I would recommend next match, third match in the qualifying. Like he needs to get it done. He needs to get it done against Croatia. I do understand it can be a very high level team because they know how to play with each other. But Scotland, I think you could perform against Scotland. So I'm expecting more. I'm expecting more.
And that's another instance of Raheem Sterling, Foden wasn't off, but he wasn't his same self, although he did have a couple electric moments. But yeah, I'm trying to see here. Did Jadon Sancho make the field?
I was gonna say that. Where's Sancho? No, but Sancho Sancho hasn't had 1 second to prove himself. Okay, yeah. Harry Kane. I'm not saying Harry Kane should. Harry Kane is a must starter, but the other players that are playing instead of Sancho.
Yeah.
Come on, I wouldn't. I'd at least give a half to Sancho. At least ahead of Rashford. I put Sancho ahead of Rashford. I don't think that's bold. Come on, United is having discussions to get Sancho for 80 million. Okay, if Rashford was Rashford, like the Man United fans expect him to be, like the GOAT in the making, they wouldn't be getting Sancho.
Yeah.
Okay? That's the truth. So he should have some minutes at least.
I agree with you. I think it was Grealish for Foden at the 63rd minute. It was Rashford for Kane at the 74th minute. And I mean, that game was just calling out for a Jadon Sancho appearance, and it just didn't come.
But another thing is, it's true now. Bale wasn't lying. It's Wales. Golf Madrid, or was it Wales Madrid? I don't know, but Madrid was last. That's what I remember. Yeah. And Wales was there at the top. Leader. I did say he was going to be a menace, but I wasn't expecting Turkey to be so bad. I said Turkey was a dark horse, okay? I'm going to expose myself here, but I was expecting more. How does Turkey perform this bad? Do you have any explanation on that?
No, I don't. And that's one where if we have any Turkish followers, which I know we do, please chime in here, because it confounds us. It makes no sense. I mean, you've got a couple warriors in the back there, but hey, it's one of those instances where you can put them all on paper and say, this is a good team. This is a dark horse. Yeah. And then when they play together, it ain't the same. It just ain't the same. It's not.
I was so hyped with Yilmaz. The amount of goals he'd score.
I've been underwhelmed by Yaziki. I've been underwhelmed by quite a few players on there. I actually can't even think of somebody that is really, really impressed. I mean, have
But
you?
well, yeah. But going on another note, you were right about Locatelli.
Yeah,
You're
absolutely. I mean, that was like if I could put money on that, I should have put money on that. I mean, we both like Locatelli, and
yeah.
he's not just what a lot. He's a whole lot more than what people think he is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he can go from box to box. He can stay put. He can do
Yes.
whatever you need him to do. He's versatile as hell. And I just can't. I think it's only because he was Sassuolo
Mm-hmm.
um, coming into this tournament. Obviously, if he was Juventus and he was whatever.
100%. You're right. You're right on there. People often judge players because they're not on the big teams, and
Yeah.
that's so bad. That's so FIFA culture, Like, oh, he doesn't have enough pace. He's not a good center back.
Yeah.
It's not all about pace. Chiellini, every game he plays for Italy, he proves that it's not about pace to be a center back. Positioning, awareness, anticipation, communication skills. Like, oh, I guess I that's another topic itself. Like
It is.
oh,
Well, definitely on the international level. I mean, that it just doesn't matter. The slate is clean. Nobody gives a crap what club you come from, and it's exactly why a team, an 11 from Hungary, can go toe to toe with a France.
true.
It really has nothing to do. Yes, in the end, quality wins games, moments win games, but that's what's so great about football. It's a even playing field to start, and
You said something great about football, and I was thinking great. You said the word great, Kevin De Bruyne.
oh my god,
Did
yeah,
you see that pass?
yeah, I
The
saw that.
great pass. That
Like,
pass that you think he'd shoot, but he passed the ball and he shocked not just the opponents, but the people watching the game.
yeah, I
He
love it.
sees passes that we don't even see on the screen.
You saw all like the backpedaling defenders falling down, ice skating, trying to change where they were going in order to get in
Oh,
front of it because he surprised the crap out of people. Come on. You go from a broken eye socket, right,
yeah.
to losing Champions League final, which has got to hurt, right? That just has to sit with you, or it, you know,
Mhm.
big players, it fuels you. And KDB is here to he's here to get things done for Belgium. And man, all it took was what 45 minutes. He
What
came
you
on at the half.
reckon though? What you reckon? No update on Belgium because it's
Well,
it's important. Like Lukaku is
yeah,
delivering. De Bruyne seems hot. Like
yeah,
he's in form.
yeah.
What do you expect here? Do you
I still,
expect?
I still have them as finalists. I do.
Okay.
I know I'm getting shtick for my Denmark pick. Even though
Mm-hmm.
they're playing obviously resiliently and pretty amazingly, all things considered. But
Mm-hmm.
and I know I'm getting a little bit of flack for Austria, but yeah, Belgium was probably the biggest thing across. Okay, I picked a number one ranked team to be a finalist. But I love it. I mean, we talked about their defensive potential frailties, right? Them losing Castagna is
They
tough.
still have it. They still
Yeah,
have it.
they still have it, but if you can keep people on backpedaling like a KDB can, like a, hell, even the two Hazard brothers, who knows if they can step it up a notch as they move
But
on.
but I'll
But Luke,
tell you something. Like I'll tell you something here. If Belgium faces Italy, I think
mhm.
Italy's beating Belgium.
Right now, I
I think Italy beats Belgium. We can say there's an argument there because Lukaku does know the center backs.
mhm.
Lukaku plays in Serie A. He performed there extremely well, so he can have a goal or two.
Yeah.
But I still feel that Italy team. I feel that who Belgium gets next. I don't know how it's going, who they'll get next. But if they get a team with a top striker that can bully those center backs,
It'll be interesting.
it'll be tough. It'll be
It's going to be
tough.
tough. But speaking of tough, I mean, we talked a little bit about how obviously with the Ericsson situation, how that
Hmm.
second game was going to be for Denmark. And man, did they
I
come
agree.
out with some fire and some, intent to hurt Belgium. And you could see it. Belgium was on the back foot for the majority of that
Hmm.
first.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah, 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 yeah,
it
yeah.
took a Kevin, it took a Kevin De Bruyne World world-class player coming off the bench to obviously change the tide. But I gotta isolate a Mikel Damsgaard, a 20-year-old, plays for I believe he plays for Sampdoria. Yeah, he made the jump over there. Has really taken his time, trying to kind of get his footing in Serie A. But ultimately, he was charged with, you can't fill Eriksen's boots per se, but he was in charge of trying to have a Christian Eriksen-like effect on the game. And he did his damnedest. I mean, he had 5 dribbles won. He was jump-starting counters. He was navigating tight spaces like he had been doing it for years with the Danish national team. And it was just a lot of fun to watch before De Bruyne and Lukaku took over. But
I'll be honest, I didn't know anything about that player.
yeah,
And he really surprised me. I was really happy to see like a player, and especially a youth player. That shows how much the Christian Eriksen moment meant to this group of players. I'm sure they're gonna carry it to the rest of their careers.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's shocking, but they proved they made Eriksen proud in that first half for sure.
Damn right.
For sure, fantastic first half. Fantastic first half.
Yeah. Well,
we can go off here with the Euros, but so much to talk about.
I got one last thing to say here. I mean, there were 3 others actually I wanted, and we can run through them really quickly. But Alex Zinchenko versus North Macedonia. Okay, I don't know how you do it. I don't know if it's even realistic. You know City's squad a little bit better than I do, but Zinchenko in the midfield, I love it. I love it, man. I want to see more of it because, I mean, he was winning tackles left and right. He was kind of the metronome for Ukraine, and they needed that win, and they got that win. I believe he's actually leading the entire tournament in tackles won. So, like, by far, I think he's averaging 6 a game. I know only 2 games have been played, but that's important. And if you were worried about Zlatan not being with Sweden, and I know Sweden's not exactly lighting us up in terms of, wow, this is an amazing team to watch. But Alexander Isak is phenomenal. And he showed that against Slovakia. Once again, they needed a win. They got it. They're now sitting on 4 points. But there was like that near the end of the game, he took on 3 or 4 Slovakian defenders.
I saw that. Like, what a moment.
I loved it.
What a moment. Like, Isaac. Oh, yeah. He performed. He
really did, and that's something I want to see. I want to see where he moves, if he moves after this tournament. I mean, could I see him staying at Real Sociedad? Sure, absolutely. But I do think the Sharks are circling.
Yeah, exactly. What?
Dortmund wants him back. That's my guess.
It would be a smart bet. Like, they'd sell Haaland and maybe get Isaac on it cheap because they'd pay 30 million, right, for Isaac.
I think so.
I think it is. I think it's half. I don't know. I'm not sure, but it's still a good deal if it's 30. Yeah. I don't know. Like,
yeah. Sorry.
Nah, no worries. Like, let's go to the next topic.
Well, no, I'm not done yet. I got one more. We have to say it.
It's the
Remember,
Patrick Schick.
we talked. No, we should talk. We haven't spoken about 25-year-old Patrick Schick. Yeah, I mean, he is somebody that's been lighting it up for the Czech Republic. He hasn't really figured out his club game yet, but he's been pretty phenomenal. And obviously that goal was unbelievable. But no, I mean, we talked in those, 5 players to watch, 5 breakout players for the U21 Euros. And obviously we talked about Jude Bellingham. This was like 3 or 4 episodes ago. Well, Jude Bellingham broke the record. We talked about that, right? Broke the record, youngest player ever to appear in a Euros game. And then not even a couple days later, Kasper Kozlowski did come on for Poland.
Yes,
and he's 100 days younger than Jude Bellingham. And he beat the record, becoming the youngest. And I just wanted to make everybody remember that this kid, not even a little more than 18 months ago, was in a hospital bed with a broken back, broken hip, and then had 6-7 months off, almost, I think more than that, and has continued to just find his way into the highest levels. And the only thing that's next is making that big move. And if there's not somebody coming in for him after this tournament, if they weren't already looking at him previous to this tournament, they sure as hell are now. So hopefully we see him a little bit more moving forward. But he broke that record versus Spain, and man, that's a good team to break that record against.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, that is true. Kasper Kozlowski, two players breaking records in year 2020. Jude Bellingham and Kasper Kozlowski.
Just watching
Fantastic
17-year-olds.
stat.
Unbelievable.
True.